我在一个软件上认一个网友，是女网友，然后我从周高专门跑到郑州来见面的，在一个餐厅里，女网友点了4杯干锅，4杯调酒，消费了15000块钱。
The man invited the female online acquaintance to dinner, only to find out that the meal cost a staggering 15,000 yuan. He thought that after spending so much he would win her heart, but the next day the woman mysteriously disappeared. The man went to the restaurant to ask for an explanation, but discovered a shocking secret. What happened? Let's continue to find out. Mr. Zhang, 29 years old, had never been in a relationship due to his busy work and a lack of suitable opportunities. His emotional experience was like a blank page. Seeing that he had reached the age where marriage and relationships should be considered, Mr. Zhang began to feel anxious. So, under the recommendation of a friend, he downloaded a dating app. Through the app's suggestions, Mr. Zhang quickly got to know a girl. She was very proactive, which made Mr. Zhang very happy. They got along well online, and Mr. Zhang was convinced that this was the woman he was destined to be with. They began to plan their offline meeting. After confirming the time, Mr. Zhang eagerly prepared for the meeting. With excitement, he traveled a long distance to meet the female online acquaintance in her city. They agreed to meet at a restaurant, and although everything seemed good at first, Mr. Zhang started to feel frustrated. After they met, the female online acquaintance didn't say much to him, and immediately started ordering food, completely ignoring Mr. Zhang's tastes and ordering only what she liked. Mr. Zhang comforted himself, thinking it was normal for a young girl to be a little clueless. But what happened next completely shocked him. The female online acquaintance ordered 4 plates of dry fruits and 4 glasses of red wine. At first, Mr. Zhang thought it was a small order, and was about to suggest she order more. However, a person claiming to be a waiter approached the table and demanded that Mr. Zhang pay immediately. Mr. Zhang was confused. Why was he being asked to pay before even eating? But in order to maintain his gentlemanly demeanor in front of the female online acquaintance, he gladly paid 498 yuan for the meal. However, before Mr. Zhang could chat much with the female online acquaintance, the annoying waiter returned again. This time, the restaurant bill left Mr. Zhang unsettled. The price of the red wine kept rising, one glass after another, starting at 888 yuan, then 1,688 yuan, and finally 7,152 yuan. Was this wine from the gods? But looking at the beautiful female online acquaintance opposite him, Mr. Zhang once again succumbed and foolishly paid the bill. The total cost of the meal was 15,000 yuan. Is the restaurant industry really making such big profits these days? A few plates of dry fruits and several glasses of unknown liquid could sell for over 10,000 yuan. If this keeps up, the restaurant owner will soon be the richest man in China.
吃过之后感觉到我这个网友跟这个老板认识，他们好像都是串通好的，吃饭都不用看菜单，都知道点什么，感觉到被骗了。
15,000 yuan is no small amount, and Mr. Zhang was still feeling the sting. As he repeatedly thought about the situation, he began to realize something wasn't right. The entire process felt deceitful. On their first meeting, with just a few simple dishes, the bill came to an astronomical amount. Finally, the man's love-struck brain started to clear up. He immediately called a reporter, hoping they could help him get his money back. When he met the reporter, Mr. Zhang immediately suspected that the female online acquaintance was in cahoots with the restaurant. She didn't even need to look at the menu to know exactly what to order, indicating that she was very familiar with the restaurant's food and wine. So, he was certain that the female online acquaintance and the restaurant owner were definitely working together. When the reporter asked Mr. Zhang why he was willing to spend so much money, Mr. Zhang became embarrassed.
这个女孩什么样让你觉得一顿饭可以为她花15000块钱？
我比较喜欢她的脸部。
她长得很漂亮吗？
声音有点细腻，就是比较甜，听上去很好听。
Of course, her voice was sweet. If it weren't, how could she have scammed your money? The reporter looked at him with a mix of disbelief and pity. These female online acquaintances always target inexperienced men, especially those with little relationship experience. At this point, the reporter asked Mr. Zhang to contact the female online acquaintance to inquire about the situation, but Mr. Zhang looked hesitant. It turned out that Mr. Zhang had gotten increasingly angry as he thought about it, and in a fit of rage, he deleted the female online acquaintance's WeChat. "You're really something." The reporter was speechless. After being scammed, he went and deleted the scammer's WeChat. This female scammer must be laughing behind her screen. Unfortunately, the reporter had no choice but to go to the restaurant with Mr. Zhang to investigate.
这菜单上有没有你点的东西？
有这一个，
上面标价是19，当时收了你多少钱？
这是其中一种，还有4盘呢，
收了你多少钱呀
498，其他的全部都是红酒，这上面没有。
The reporter and Mr. Zhang hoped to find evidence of the sky-high prices on the menu, but they didn't find anything. Of course, they wouldn't make it that obvious. They surely wouldn't blatantly mark up the prices. So, the reporter then approached the restaurant staff to understand the situation.
昨天不是我点的餐，也不是我收的钱。
服务员嘛，他胸前不是挂个牌吗？然后他调一次让我少一次嘛，价格也不同，越来越贵。
是你们这儿的人吗？
不是，如果是我们店付款的话，我们是哗啦啦后台付款，所以说这个钱也不是我们直接收的。
The staff statement left both the reporter and Mr. Zhang surprised. They ate at the restaurant, but the payment didn't go to the restaurant. Instead, it went to a stranger. Was the restaurant doing charity work? With this question in mind, the reporter called the restaurant owner to hear his explanation.
这个人他说原来用我们的场地，说用我们的盘子盛点东西。
用你们的场地干嘛呀？
场地相亲啊，每天都有几场。
你是来
我怎么知
相亲的吗
道相亲的那个？我只是说在这个店里面吃个饭。
这是不是你们店里跟人家联合一起进行的这样的一种经营活动？
我们不允许人家经营啊，我们也不知道他收费啊。
Looking at the restaurant owner's explanation, he flatly denied that Mr. Zhang had paid the money at their restaurant. So, Mr. Zhang had to take responsibility himself. This was a typical case of shirking responsibility, and in the owner's response, there was a line that exposed their illegal actions. Because when Mr. Zhang arrived at the restaurant, he hadn't said he was there for matchmaking. How did they know the two were meeting for that purpose? The only explanation was that the restaurant was in on the scam with the female online acquaintance. Unable to resolve the issue, the reporter and Mr. Zhang decided to call the police. The police arrived on site, interviewed Mr. Zhang and the staff, and accessed the surveillance footage from that day. The footage confirmed Mr. Zhang's story, so the police contacted the female online acquaintance.
你派出所，你给我打电话干嘛呀？
那不是昨天你不是在这动物园这吃饭花了15000吗？你的网友你们
没有啊。
俺这边现在有监控，知道吧？挂了。
In her brief response, it became clear that the female online acquaintance was a skilled scam artist. She didn't admit to eating at the restaurant with Mr. Zhang. When the police pressed her again, she hung up the phone. You can't erase your misdeeds just by hanging up the phone. The police immediately started an investigation. To ease Mr. Zhang's mind, the reporter contacted a professional lawyer.
求助人是对他们店家消费的，价值这么高，那这个店家就有义务来证明这些商品价值这么多。店家授权第三方在他这消费的话，他对这个授权这个行为，他也要承担责任的。
As long as the business activity took place on the premises, the restaurant owner couldn't escape responsibility. Mr. Zhang finally felt at ease and waited for the final outcome. After the police investigation, it was confirmed that the female online acquaintance did, in fact, have a cooperative relationship with the restaurant. The restaurant was ordered to refund the 15,000 yuan to Mr. Zhang, along with a 3,000 yuan compensation for his mental distress. The restaurant was also fined 5,000 yuan and required to close for a period of time. Both the restaurant owner and the female online acquaintance were detained for 15 days for suspected fraud. This outcome brought relief to many, with some netizens joking that this was the woman's struggle history. A woman who could buy a house and a car in a year, using the restaurant's space for several matchmaking events without ordering or paying, and claiming not to know the restaurant owner. The restaurant owner's explanation was also bizarre. More netizens advised Mr. Zhang to use the law to defend his rights. The restaurant had an irrefutable responsibility, and the black shop should be heavily punished. Other netizens said that if you encounter this kind of situation, you should refuse to pay immediately and call the police. Because the restaurant owner and the girl were in cahoots, once the money was in their hands, it would be very difficult to get it back.
This scam is truly shocking, but what's even more alarming is this. In today's appearance-driven world, many men drop their guard the moment a pretty girl shows interest. They'll even willingly spend money without hesitation. You think you found love, but in reality, it might just be a carefully scripted scam. When it comes to bar scammers, the real danger isn't being fooled once. It's never learning the lesson. Gentlemen, remember this. Don't be blinded by a pretty face, and don't fall for sweet talk. Real relationships don't start with you footing the bill. If you've had a similar experience, share your story in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.